Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. All the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. We're going to be off tomorrow and Monday for Labor Day, so I apologize. If you've noticed, Gavin has been out this week because his son had to have a surgery, but everything seemed like it went well. It was like a hernia thing, so it's not like, oh, he's got a hole in his heart. But it seems like everything went well, and so Gavin had to take care of that. And not going to lie, it's been nice to use the restroom anytime I want. Because there's times like where I'm like, that boy races me into there. I need to go once. Just once during the course of the show. Just one time. And it never fails. I will go and occupied. Like, what in the world?
Or you're in the office and you're yelling like, okay, the audio's in there. And I'm like, he's in the bathroom.
I know. So, and I miss the little guy. But there's been some nice things. No. Okay, so let's talk about a serious thing that went down. And I'm frustrated because I literally had just told my wife like 2 days ago, I'm like, man, we haven't had a rash of mass shootings or school shootings. I know there have been some where but then as they dig into it, they're like an altercation between rival people and stuff like that. I don't count those as mass shootings. I don't. When you know each other or you're fighting at a bar, like I don't count that the same as some unhinged person that has decided to do nefarious deeds because of their brokenness. And they just take out random people and school shooters and things like that. And so sadly, there was one yesterday in Wisconsin, and obviously it's leaving the community reeling, and it happened at a Catholic school. And there's parts of this because Betty Rock knew more about it than I did this morning. Did you watch stuff on it yesterday?
No, I asked ChatGPT.
Did you really?
Yeah.
You need to break up. Like, you and ChatGPT are a little too attached at the hip.
Aren't we though?
But you did have good information,
right? So I did find out that this kid, I guess I don't know.
He's in his 20s.
23, 24, something like that, was a trans individual. And
that's the second one now.
Right. The first one, I believe, was a female.
It was somebody being a female.
A female wanting to be a male?
Who
I don't
knows?
know. I can't.
But that was in Nashville. That was at Covenant.
Right. This one, though, was a boy, and he was born a boy. His name was Robert. And he decided that he wanted to go as a female, and so he was going to change his name to Robin. And his mom actually did the name change for him because I believe he was 17 when he made that decision. And so she had to do it for him. And then she also was a teacher at this school at one point. She wasn't there recently. I think she quit working there in 2021. Yeah. But he had actually graduated from that school as well.
I feel for parents that are in this situation with their kids that struggle with their identity, because you don't want to alienate them, and because the narrative that they're fed is if everybody doesn't agree wholeheartedly with what you are feeling right now in this moment as a kid, then they hate you and they're against you, and they are bigots, and they are the problem. The thing going inside of you isn't the problem. That's you just being you. It's natural, living your full truth in yourself. Everyone else is the problem. And so when that's the narrative, parents get backed into a corner where you might want to give your child some difficult truth and walk through it with them. But a lot of parents, they take that path of, I don't want to push my kid over the edge, and I don't want to lose the relationship I have with them, so I'm going to indulge this lunacy, because the idea, somewhere along the way, we just decided to let adults in the mental health space tell us that their gender is fluid and there's more than one gender and all this other. The same people, this is the irony, the same people that like during COVID were like, follow the science, you must follow the science. And then now they're like, oh, forget science. It doesn't matter. It's just not, and so they don't realize that they're damaging an entire generation of children with their own broken ideology. These kids need difficult truth. Now, they need it with compassion, love, and grace, for sure. And so, like, this kills me. Like, I don't think that this is the new trend of trans people being violent. But the funny thing is, like, if you were to look at this, if this was a racist, for example, a person that they thought was racist, it would be like, yep, I told you, white guys are all racist. And then this one, but you couldn't say, well, these trans kids are all dangerous, but like the more of these things that happen, they would make that case against the other ideologies that they don't like, but then they make excuses for this one.
I think it comes back to, and this is not hate on people who feel like they are a different sex than what they were born with, but I think further science needs to be done on the medicine that they give these people, like the hormones and things like that. I don't know what it does to you psychologically.
Right.
There might need to be more studies on this. I did look up to see, because he had left a letter to his parents and his family, and it was not what you would expect in a letter. You would think that because he had written so many hateful things on like the ammunition and the guns, and he had posted YouTube videos that were super hateful and racist and things like that. So you would think, oh, this guy comes from a really messed up family, but that's actually not the case. So in the note, he began by saying, I don't expect forgiveness. I do apologize for the effects my actions will have on your lives. To his parents. Yeah. He said, you didn't fail me, but he also expressed shame at not turning out how they envisioned. So he said, I was corrupted by this world and have learned to hate what life is. Please move on and continue to give your love to my brothers and sisters and the rest of the world.
See, that's a broken person.
But it's just interesting because it's like he's writing out everything that he's got going for him, but he still chose
it's not enough.
Violence.
Right. It's not enough. He still can't break out of that. It's like trying to, if you've never been addicted, to try to understand someone that has an addiction. And like, I think that we can't understand people that are broken in ways that are different than us. A lot of times we can try to sympathize, but we can't empathize with it, And so to me, that would be a hard letter to get as a parent, to be like, you didn't fail me, but then something went wrong. You still hurt other people. Like, to me, these are the saddest ones to me. Like, you're trying to make this statement. I'm hurting, so I'm going to hurt other people. Mm-hmm. That one kills me. When someone takes their own life, it's sad. It is a sad thing that they were that point, that desperate, that broken. But it's a layer worse when they hurt other people, then take their own life.
And children.
Yeah, like if you can't deal with it anymore, that's on you. Like that's your thing, But why do you feel the need to make this statement to then drag other people through this hurt and pain to feel some of the pain that you've hurt then? What did you accomplish? Nothing. But again, you can't logically, rationally deal with someone that's broken in this way. My heart breaks for these parents that did everything right, sent their kids to, a Catholic school thinking that, I'm going to keep them out of harm's way a little bit and out of the mess of public school. And then this person decides to do what they did, and affect all these lives. And Betty made a really good point. She's like, yeah, these kids are going to have PTSD, the ones that survived. I'm like, yeah, he took physically the lives of 2 kids, but everyone else that was there, he took their lives away as well for the rest of their lives. I can't even imagine if my daughter had to go through a school shooting. She already is scared of everything, and she would be a disaster. I'm like, I don't think she'd come back. I don't know how she would come back from it, Short of God's miracle, I don't know how she would come back from that. And I think you're absolutely right that he destroyed a group of people.
And not only that, but it's become so pervasive that this school that the shooting happened at, they were just in their first week of getting back into school. And I think that it's become more common for kids to be aware that there are shootings that are happening.
I hate that.
And that has to be scary to go back to school.
Yeah.
It also has to be scary for the parents, and they have to hide their fear to not trigger their kids. But it's got to, if you're constantly... if you're a kid, your brain hasn't even developed all the way yet, and you're already living in that fear, that would be hard to break that mindset once you grow up if you don't have God in it.
Like there was a generation before me, like boomers, that grew up fearing like Russia and the nuclear attack. And they would have drills to get under their desks that if you know anything about nuclear stuff, ain't gonna matter.
Right.
But that made them have a sense of control and safety and things like that. My generation, Gen X, didn't really have a little bit of that. And like we didn't have these current fears. Like my biggest fear at school was getting into an altercation like at a football game and getting my butt kicked, and like and not like put in the hospital, just a stupid fist fight that ends with two guys wrestling around a little bit till one, is like, okay, you win, like that was it. But now these kids have an expectation of, or a fear based in reality of just going to school could be a life-ending thing. And so how do you, as a parent, talk to your kids about that? Like, that's really a hard conversation. We talked about it a little bit in the regular Aftercast already. But I think part of it, like these psychologists are saying, be honest with your kids, be proactive, don't wait, but share the things that are different in their situation and the things that you guys are doing to keep them safe, because their fear is could this happen to me? And then from a faith perspective of, God does not completely protect us physically from all of the evil in this world. It's just a sad reality, and I hate that. I mean, this is a Christian school, or a Catholic school, bunch of Catholic kids, Christian kids there, and doing their life, praying, and that didn't prevent this tragedy from creeping into their world. So it's like, what do you do with that? Where is God in that? Because that's the big question. People be like, well, where was God? Why didn't God could have prevented this? Why didn't he? And that's the hard part for believers, is when you believe that God is all powerful and he can prevent stuff, but he does not. Why? And what do you do with that? And so that can lead to some pretty fatalistic things and stuff. And so for me, like I was talking and wrote a little bit down about this, about like, just because God didn't prevent it, or, bad things happen, it doesn't mean he's absent in it, in that he promises, because he did. He never promised to walk us around the pain. He quite obviously and counter that to that said, you are going to have pain. You're going to have bad things. He laid it out for us. So it's not like it's a surprise. I think we've created this version of God because we tell everybody, oh, he protects us. God's going to traveling mercies, it's going to protect us. It's not true. And so we've created this false narrative about him. God said, you are going to have some messed up stuff in this world. It's going to hurt. It's going to not be fun. But I am with you through that. And I have overcome that bad. Now, that sometimes that bad that's going to be overcome is way down the road. And we won't even always see it, and some people will never see it. But we have to have faith that God is going to make all of these things right and new. And that's where faith comes in. And that's where living your life, not for the now in this moment, but living in that reality of heaven and God redeeming all of this brokenness one day, it will be okay. And that God is there and he does promise to walk with you through all of this. And so for me, it's like if I had my kid and she was young, I would be like, let's pray right now for these families that we know that God is there, but they might be doubting that and they might not see it, because you don't always see things in the moment. So for me, I would be like, let's pray that their eyes will be open and that they will see God's hand of goodness inside of all of this unimaginable hurt, because sometimes that's the only thing you can do, or you can be proactive and, talk to your kids about volunteering and loving people well and things like that to keep people from becoming broken adults.
Well, still you hear stories of kids getting bullied.
Yeah.
And it's like,
don't be a bully.
Yeah, don't be a bully.
Stand up for those kids. If you see somebody being bullied, stand up, rise up against it. And then, maybe in the safest way possible, because some bully situations are so bad, but like showing kindness to that kid that obviously is hurting. might change the course of that kid's life. You know, and it's crazy to think that. And I actually do believe that.
But I would go even, I would be even more specific, and I would say, if it's a girl getting bullied, girls should reach out to them. If it's a boy getting bullied, it should be boys reaching out to them. I think it can get messy if you have girls helping the boy that's bullied. He'll get the wrong idea.
Sure.
And then you've got another situation going on, and vice versa. So I think it's for kids. That's how it should be.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the when you see these things, there's going to be a lot of people there. They've got a lot of counselors on site, and they always rush to that, which I think is good. There was like the mayor of Wisconsin was like, and I appreciate his frustration. T's and P's are not enough. Thoughts and prayers are not enough, because that's what always gets said. Thoughts and prayers are with you, but he's like, something has to be done. I hated when I heard the fact that this person got the guns legally. You're like, dadgummit. Because at least if it was illegal or, if red flag law, you could point to, we've got to do better here to avoid these messed up people from getting guns. But he got them all legally. And you're like, dadgummit. What do you do with that? And so he's in the process of, I'm having to deal with this now as a mayor, and we've got to do something. And he throws out these vague things about what we've got to do. And, countries that have done this and that and the other. I would love to know what people feel is a really good solution to random shootings. I would love to know that. I'm a gun owner. I have multiple, and I like target shooting. I'm not like, yes, for home defense, sure, but I don't live in that space a lot. But for me, I do believe in responsible gun ownership, and I believe in checks and do good ones, do good background checks. I have no problem with that. Like, put my social security, number through the ringer and try if that is what we all deem is a good way to keep these things out of people's hands, and that's fine. I don't personally know enough about the issue to know what the answer is, in this state. I think it's, because the guy was like, it is a gun problem. We're saying it's not a gun problem. It's a gun problem. I agree to that to a point, but it is a psychological problem. This guy's problem started far before the gun problem. And then you look at people that don't get a gun and they just run their car through people. Well, is it a car problem? Now we got to ban all cars.
Right.
It's always, people are going to find ways to do bad things to people when they're broken. And that's the thing. Now, you want to prevent them from being able to do this as best you can, but I don't know what the solution is. And I don't think we've really had a great solution to this problem. Well, obviously, it still happens, but we haven't. These are the ones where this kid had never been in trouble with the law. He's like that person that sneaks through the cracks, even though there might have been some warning signs where they're enough to connect the dots. Did family members not know enough or close their eyes to things that they knew were problems because they didn't want to alienate their kid further? That stuff's all going to come out, and that's where you have to be real careful making the comments in the early stages of something and the opinions until you know more, and so it'll be interesting to see how this comes up. But man, there were a lot of first responders there, and they were, police were on the scene right away.
Said older kids were protecting the younger kids.
Yeah. You see the goodness in the bad, which is a good thing and stuff.
But I'm sure that doesn't mean much when you've lost your kid.
Absolutely. And all those people did their job, very useful jobs, for sure. First responders and things like that. Now, Betty, I think you have a thing on useless jobs that are far less important than what we've just talked about.
Yeah. People were asked to share the jobs that you think are ridiculous that people get paid to do. I want to see if you agree with these.
Okay,
First one, I would agree with this one, influencers.
Yes.
And I'm so tired of influencers. Everybody wants to be an influencer, and they're all just doing the same thing.
I saw a guy who's an influencer calling out another influencer because he was at this restaurant and she was like, hey, yeah, I'm an influencer, and so I was hoping that you could comp my meal for me. And the waitress is like, well, we don't really do that unless we've worked out a thing prior to. I have 30,000 followers. So, and she's like, yeah, I know, I really appreciate that. That's not what we do. Okay, well, maybe I'll just go on and do a bad review then.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I know. It's like, and so this guy was great because this guy was awesome. He goes, hey, I am, he got into the middle of it. He's like, I am also an influencer. I have 1.2 million followers or whatever it was. It was some big number. And he's like, I'd like to pay full price because she wanted a discount too, at least. And he's like, I'd like to pay full price for my meal because, and I will come back and do something with you that is just because. You know, and so like he
people
did the right
on
thing.
TikTok will call you out.
Yeah,
if you get caught doing something that is they don't agree with, they will find you, hunt you down.
Yeah, they do the research, man.
Yeah, they do.
There was a jeweler, like I watched this watch guy. I like watches, and so there's this guy Vukum that I watch. He tries to do flash flips, and there's this other guy Moses the jeweler. It's so geeked out to me, but he's all iced out and stuff. And he got filleted because people were trying to tell him that he was grifting people or overcharging them because somebody came to him and they wanted a watch, and he wanted to make it look like a bigger deal. He sold them a watch for X amount of dollars, $10,000, and he was trying to make that other person look like a big deal and tell them it's like, $30,000 watch for the person. So they looked like they were a baller, and he was trying to like be nice to the guy, and that blew up on him. They're like, he charged $30,000 for a $10,000 watch. He's like, I didn't do that, but they went on him hard, and he's like not this bad person. So the internet, the internet, you gotta be very careful.
Another one is telemarketers. I mean, we don't listen. We hang up on them.
I've never bought
anything. We ignored
anything.
them. Yeah, like what is the point?
But if there are telemarketers that spend millions of dollars to have all these telemarketers, people are buying from them. My buddy Greg does. Greg. What? Yeah, Greg. If you catch Greg on a good day, he'll buy something from you on the phone. Like
why?
He's just a kind person. He's like, oh, okay. He's got disposable income, and like he'll
He's the problem.
Yeah, he will like he's the guy. Like I'm trying to avoid people like selling you stuff out front of grocery stores, and I'm trying to sneak in the exit.
Yep.
And he's like, hey, I'll take 10.
Oh my gosh.
He's a good person.
Life coaches.
Oh.
Most people pointed out that when it comes to life coaches, typically they're the ones that need a life coach the most. Security guards, because everything has gotten so digital now. We've got cameras and things like that. Like we just need a warm body there.
I don't know. You still need Paul Blart, Mall Cop.
I would agree.
You talk about life coaches. The guy that I'm amazed by that has had a hundreds of millions of dollar career is Dave Ramsey. Like, how do you really need Dave Ramsey in this day and age? Like all the internet, all the information's on the internet, but it really boils down to this. Don't spend more than you make. Like, that's it. That is the basic premise of financial peace. Now, they give you envelopes and they teach you how to budget a little bit. But at the end of the day, what they're selling is forego some of the things you want, now to save money and to pay off debt so that you can enjoy those things later. Delayed gratification. That's it. But this dude has made hundreds of millions of dollars.
Smart, I guess.
I know.
And finally, motivational speakers. Pretty much people are pointing out they all say the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's all things that you've read and like those, or you see on those posters with the kitty hanging on the tree limb. It's like, no, we get it. Like we don't need it. We don't need it.
There's a kid, I got to look him up because he looks like he's in his 20s. And he keeps coming up on my TikTok feed, and he's super inspirational, and he always has a good story about how he's a speaker, and he had this and this and this. And his stories are always really good, and they're inspirational or whatever. But I'm like, where did you come from? Who's hiring you to speak? You look like you're 22. What life experience do you have that like makes you a motivational speaker or gives you the credibility to do that? Like I think that there are certain things you have to have some life experience to you, to have the credibility to speak to people on that level, So, hey, for my birthday, I would love a motivational speaker.
You would?
Or at least a tape. Yeah, like a motivational book series. That'd be so good.
You just don't have your life together.
I don't, and I would love that because I need people telling me how to live my life. Speaking of birthdays, do you have any?
I do.
Oh, fantastic. What a coincidence.
I have one from Shelly. Shelly wants to wish her daughter Jasmine a happy birthday, a happy 12th birthday.
Nice, Jasmine.
Jasmine is super loving, caring, and simple, and such a joy. And wait a minute.
Simple is
queen,
nice.
And the queen of roasting people.
Oh, I like this, Jasmine.
Enjoys listening to the Aftercast and podcast with her mom and brother.
Boom roasted. Boom roasted.
If you could roast Jasmine right now, what would you?
I couldn't.
Yeah, you have to.
I can't roast a little girl.
What if she roasted you?
Oh, then I'd roast back, but I can't roast a little girl.
All you know about her is she's super loving, caring, and simple, and such a joy.
Oh, jeez. Come on, man. Don't make me do that.
Roast a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah.
You find entertainment in listening to this Aftercast, Jasmine. Loser.
Yeah, you must be simple.
Roasted.
Roasted, yeah.
I don't know.
No, I would never.
roasted myself insane.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, at least you get paid to be here, Rock.
That's true. Happy birthday, Jasmine.
Jasmine, you are the best, girl.
Weekend plans, everyone's got a weekend plans.
Because we're out tomorrow, so weekend plans are in full effect. I've ruined this Memorial Day weekend.
Why?
I thought about doing like a little getaway, like for my wife and I, like go like rent a little Airbnb lake house kind of thing. It'd be fun, and I didn't do it early. I thought about it too late. And so now it's like when I'm on Airbnb, they're like, well, you can get one of those nights, and like you can't get 4 nights because it's Labor Day weekend.
Right.
And so everybody's doing that.
Right.
I maybe could do like a cabin, but now it's Thursday. So that's not going to happen unless there's a cancellation. So I'm going to end up doing nothing this break. I know we talked about doing like, we need to clean like our deck, like in like pollen everywhere and stuff. Like do some of that, and we're gonna purge a couple rooms in the house and just declutter and get rid of stuff. So like that's one day, and that would feel good, but it's not like a fun vacation. And so I don't know because the problem is I actually have vacation coming up. And so I'm looking forward to that, and that's all planned. And so I dropped the ball on this. So it's my weekend, my Monday or Tuesday story will be like, didn't do anything. I played Call of Duty for 4 days.
Sounds great.
Nah, that's not bad. All right, so what about you, Rock?
I have tentative dinner plans tonight.
Oh.
We'll see.
Friends?
Yes. Tomorrow I'm considering, I don't know if I'm really up for it or not. Seeing if my mom wants to go clothes shopping with me. Not that
you
I'm
need clothes shopping?
Yeah.
Oh, what are you getting? What are you thinking?
Well, I don't know. I just need everything.
To zhuzh it up a little?
Yeah, just to update, I suppose.
Okay.
But it's not about
I
my
can't
mom.
wait to see what you come up
It's
with.
about shopping. I just don't know if I'm up for it.
But let me tell you this. Let me take you out of yourself for a second because I know it's about you and you live your world about you, and I get that. I understand that. As a narcissist, I fully know what people like you are like. Okay, so do this for your mom. There's nothing your mom would love more than to spend time with you and to go shopping with you and do lunch and stuff. That is the least you can do for this woman that gave you birth and gave you life. Like so I know that it's not fun. Trying on jeans for women is the worst. I get it. I understand that, girl. I've been there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I've been there. I've tried on jeans before and it's the worst. I hate going to places and trying on clothes. Because then you're sitting in this dressing room, you're taking your shoes off, which is a giant pain, and then trying to get those skinny jeans. Oof, that's rough. But then you get like, oh, I don't like it, and then you got to get redressed. Like I get it.
I'm already tired.
Again, and this is not about you. It's not even if you don't come home with anything.
Yeah, but last weekend, her and I went to an antique store. Yeah. We went to Bath and Body Works.
Oh, that's great.
And we went somewhere else.
Oh, so you've done the enough time with her for a year then, like in one.
I'm not saying that. I love my mom.
Oh, I know. Your mom's great.
Don't love clothes shopping.
I know. Again, not about clothes shopping.
But it does need to be done.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Maybe did I say yeah? I said yeah too fast.
Okay.
No, I think you have very cute clothes, and so it's fun to update. Like I like clothes shopping.
Yeah, sure.
I go to Marshall's.
I'm not going to Marshall's.
Where would you go?
I don't know.
Don't go to Ross.
That's the problem.
Don't be a Ross.
They all sound terrible.
Marshall's
to me.
is great. TJ Maxx overpriced.
You don't know the struggle when it comes to women's pants. Like they all fit different.
Yeah.
And even if you get them home, they're still going to fit different because they're in like I don't know, it's like a barometer change or something. Or maybe you skipped lunch that day and now they don't fit right. Or maybe you ate 2 lunches and now they don't fit at all.
I saw a thing. My wife showed it to me. It was a TikTok.
And you're spending $85 each.
Oh, I know. And it was a TikTok, and it was like men buying pants. Size 32 equals size 32. Women buying pants. Size, 8 means size 8 through 14 or 6 through 12.
Exactly.
And it may or may not be medium.
Do you want skinny? Do you want short? Do you want long? Do you want light? Do you want dark?
Where would you go shopping, though? Like, where's your place?
No, I don't have a place.
You don't have a place?
I don't have
your
a place.
Your place is Amazon.
Yeah. Here's the thing. The tops aren't that big of a deal. It's the bottoms that are the difficult part for me. That and shoes.
Yeah.
I'm already frustrated. I don't think I'm going to do it.
No.
Anyway.
Okay, if you don't, then I'm gonna take your mom shopping.
Ew, don't. No, stay away from my mom.
Yeah, I'm taking your mom shopping. We're gonna shop
then,
so much.
Let me finish.
And get lunch.
Let me finish.
Talk about you.
Then I've got dinner plans.
Hang on,
with
she's texting
a friend
me.
of mine. Sunday, I got to help with the kids. Monday, though, I'm having a craft day with some friends of mine, and I'm so excited about it because it's close to fall, and we love fall, so we're going to bake some things and make some things. That'll be so fun.
Nice. Well, there you go. That sounds like a good...
Then I come back here on Tuesday, and look at you.
I know. And therein is your gift. So that's crazy. I love that for you. All right, that's going to have to do it for our Aftercast for today. And as always, thank you for being a potty.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.